Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Mendoza Auto Garage. So this is just going to be a real quick video. One, to introduce something that I'm going to be offering. It's kind of a selective amount of people that I can actually offer this to anyways, but obviously you guys know I'm building my project race car, and a couple of things that I know with racing a vehicle that is going to be running a couple of E85 combination. Injectors are really expensive, and I already bought a set, so keeping them maintained and cleaned is going to be really important. But it's also a service that I want to offer to other people here local to where I'm at. I'm in Arizona, Glendale specifically, and I don't know too many places here locally. I haven't really looked too much, but that do a lot of injector cleaning. So what I did was I went ahead and invested in this Autool CT150 that lets me do 4 injectors at a time. Obviously I could do more than that, but I kind of wanted to test it out a little bit. I have some DSM 450cc blue top injectors that I've had for a while. I had them on a F22 turbo build that I had in an Accord for a while. I mean, I've had these injectors for quite a few years, and they've done pretty well. I had them in an H22 swap that was all motor build, and it's kind of, the H22 is just kind of sitting waiting to get sold or until I decide to throw it in something. But I figured these would be a really good example for testing out this new tool that I just bought, which is an injector ultrasonic cleaning machine. So this will let me check for leaky injectors. It'll help me clean injectors, not just my personal ones, but also I'll be offering cleaning services, ultrasonic cleaning for anybody local to me. I'm not sure if I'll do shipping or not. Maybe as you know, the demand grows, I might be doing that. But if you're in the Arizona, Phoenix, West Side, Glendale, pretty much anywhere in the Central Valley, I'll be offering this service. So you can come to my shop and drop off your injectors, and probably in a day or two, have them back in your hands at a very low cost. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys what all the capabilities are. I've still kind of been messing around with it a little bit. I just barely got it today. And as you can see, it's very simple. You just put your injectors up over here. These little things kind of come loose. This comes up. I mean, it's not really a difficult thing to put together if you're ever interested in getting one of these. I mean, I would assume that you probably would have to be, racing your car or having a shop to really want to invest into something like this, because it's not a cheap machine, but it's not super expensive either. But you obviously want to, have use for it to get, your money back that you paid for it. Or if you're just a hobbyist who does a lot of racing, it definitely come in handy for cleaning your injectors instead of having to spend the money on another set of injectors because they got clogged up or whatever the case is. So like I said, these are 450 DSM injectors. Let's try an idle test. So I think I already have the base pressure set at like 45, 50. That's about what Hondas like to run. You don't have to do these settings up here. This lets you select the different settings. This has 13 different settings, and then it lets you do however much time you want to put in. Start, pause, stop. You can increase the pressure, decrease pressure and increase pressure that you would have here in your rail technically. So this kind of helps you find if you have a leaky fuel injector, which I actually have had a lot of customers who have had to replace fuel injectors because one was stuck open. I wish I would have had this machine before. I probably could have saved some customers a little bit of money in trying to get the injector cleaned first before we went ahead and just replaced an injector. So this is definitely going to come in handy, not just for the enthusiasts, but also for my customers who might have stuck or a faulty injector that I might be able to get cleaned up for them, so that they don't have to go through the cost of having to buy a whole nother injector. So let's go ahead and try this out. I'm going to try the idle test on these 450cc injectors. I'm not going to do it for 10 minutes, obviously, for demonstration purposes. It only lets you do it in minute increments. but here we go. Base pressure, it's going up and down between 45 and 50. Shut the nozzle, and we'll kind of see what the injectors are looking like. This is an idle test, so this is what your injectors would be firing at idle. It does kind of look like this injector over here is a little behind. So probably due for a good cleaning. Besides the fact that these injectors are super old, never been cleaned. I actually found them in a junkyard, believe it or not, with a whole DSM turbo setup that I put on my Accord. So I'm kind of curious to see how even or how uneven they are. All right, so the injector cleaning is done. Let's see, where's mine? Can't really see that well. So this one flowed out a little more. It's about 32. This one's 30, a little bit below 30, maybe 29 and 30. So either this one is opening up too much, or the other ones are just kind of falling behind, need some more cleaning. But let's go ahead and drain this out. Now let's do an acceleration test. Alright, so it looks like with the higher volume stuff, you start to see a little bit better information. So they're not too far apart from each other, but you can see a couple of the injectors are a little bit behind others. But, I mean, basically this is kind of a cool little tool just to kind of, play around with, but it's also a really good tool when it comes to people who race their cars and they've spent a lot of money in aftermarket, components, and put about $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 into an engine build. The last thing you want is having a fuel system failure, which can cause any number of issues and in the end destroy, that large investment that you put into the engine. So this is really cool to see, if you got one injector that's super low compared to the other ones, that can cause a really bad problem in one cylinder and, completely demolish an engine. So just having this as a tool, it's really a lifesaver when it comes to engines and guys who put a lot of money into their vehicles. And just being able to pop your injectors in really quick to see how they're flowing will answer a lot of questions to something that you might be having. Even for customers, they're having issues, cars smoking a ton, and it's kind of hard to test an injector while it's inside the vehicle and see its flow, obviously because it's inside the manifold. So this here lets you kind of see it yourself. It'll test pressure. Let's go ahead and we're going to check for leaky injectors. So it'll actually pressurize the injectors. So it's about at 50 psi, and as we can see, there is no leaks in the injectors. If there was a leaky injector, we'd be able to see it dripping or completely spraying. So that's good. I mean, these injectors, like I said, are pretty old, so the fact that they're pretty even is kind of amazing, and also that they don't leak at all is pretty amazing too. Let's see. Let's go to high-speed spray value test. And we'll just run this for a few seconds. Well, I guess I don't really know what I'm doing. Cool. So it seems like the more I'm running these injectors, because it is a cleaning solution, they're kind of evening themselves out. So, but basically I kind of wanted to do a little review. I didn't really do an unboxing. I'm kind of new to this whole YouTube stuff, so mainly kind of wanted to show something that I'm going to be offering to my customers here, or you know, outside, just kind of depends. But this is a cool, nifty little tool. It's gonna come in super handy for me personally with my project race car. So yeah, if you like the content so far, hopefully I'm gonna go into a little bit more depth and detail into my build. I haven't really been showing a whole lot of information. I kind of jumped on this whole doing video things kind of late. If you go into my Instagram, which is at Mendoza_auto_garage, that's my Instagram, and you'll be able to see a lot of the build pictures and everything that I've kind of gotten through the process, all the way from the point when I got the car, what I originally had done to it, which it had the H22 in it, to the point where it is now, where it's K-swapped, 99 2000 front end conversion, turbocharged, gutted. You know, it's kind of taken a transformation. It went from a, you know, $300 project car build off thing that I had with my brother, which in the case I had an actual Prelude at the time, and he had this green Civic, and we were supposed to each, you know, build the car. I bought a Prelude for $300 and got it running, threw an H22 in it. He bought the green Civic that is currently now the Project Civic, also for $300, but unfortunately he wasn't able to really do anything with the vehicle. I ended up getting rid of the Prelude and just kind of kept everything that I wanted from it, which was the H22. And that's kind of where it started. I wanted another project car to throw the H22 in, because my plan was to turbocharge it. I have a ton of extra H and F series parts that I have laying around, and my plan was to kind of build an F20V block, which I still have, that's been bored out, just waiting for pistons and rods. But now that I've gotten K-Series, I don't know that I'm going to finish that project. I still have the block, and I really would like to finish it and maybe do something with it someday. I have all the spare parts minus pistons and rods, but we'll kind of see where that goes. But yeah, that's kind of where it started, and then opened up my shop and brought the car here, and slowly I've been kind of working on it here and there, and finally I pulled the trigger and went ahead and decided to go K-Series. I came up with the opportunity to be able to do it. I built my first K-Series, like, I want to say I was just out of high school, maybe back in 07, 08. My brother found a CRV K24A1 where he worked at that somebody had poured sugar in, so they went and junked the motor, and he got it. I bought it from him, and my plan at the time was to rebuild it and put it into 2001 Civic Coupe that I had, which is an EM2. I rebuilt the whole thing, and unfortunately that didn't go through. I ended up selling the block to somebody on the forums who to this day actually still has it. He rebuilt it and he put it into the same EM2 type of vehicle that I was going to. We all kind of had the same color vehicle and stuff like that at the time. I have some pictures. Maybe one day when I learn how to do all this YouTube stuff, I'll post up some pictures of some of my old cars and builds that I had. But yeah, Hondas have always been a part of my culture, like my cars and stuff like that. I mean, I like wrenching on anything and everything I can get my hands on, but my roots has always been Hondas. So there's going to be plenty of Honda content. I actually do have a vehicle that I'm going to be working on the next couple of days, which is getting some suspension work, tie rod ends. It's an Audi A4 Quattro 3.2, which is actually a pretty quick little car. Big old engine and small little engine base, so maybe I'll throw up some videos on some how-tos on what you want to do for suspension work and stuff like that. But till now, that's the end of this video. Checking out this CT150. I know it wasn't really an unboxing or show how to do this and put it together. I'm still kind of learning all the little things. It's kind of basic function, you know, you just kind of hook things together, you go through selections. Ultrasonic cleaning kind of tells you what you need to do, and then you can flow test them, compare and contrast your numbers after. So I look forward to getting better at using this tool and offering the services to my customers, and hopefully you guys will enjoy some of the content I'm going to be putting out. Like I said, it's not just going to be Hondas, although my project for sure is going to be on the channel. I'm going to try a little bit better at recording when I'm doing certain things. Like I kind of get impatient, and as soon as the part comes in, I just want to throw it on right away. So I kind of have quite a bit of stuff already done. But I'm going to start recording every time now that, you know, I'm working on the Civic. I know there's a ton of other channels out there that are Honda content and automotive content. I'm just kind of doing this to pass the time along, and, you know, not doing it to get rich or get famous or make any money off of it. It's just something that I'd like to get into and kind of show some people how to do certain things. And I'll probably, now that I mentioned that, I'll probably get into a sit down as far as how it is that I came about having my own shop, and, you know, what it's taken for me to get here. I've had a couple of people who have followed me on Instagram to ask me questions on, you know, because originally I was a mobile mechanic, and now I've opened my own shop. And so they asked me, you know, what is it that I had to do to get to the point where I'm at now? So maybe one of these days I'll sit down, introduce myself a little bit better, tell you a little bit about myself and how it is that I came from point A to where I'm at now, which is point B, not Z, because this isn't the end all for me. This is a dream come true, that's for sure. But I have a lot more work to get done, and that I want to get better at. So maybe I'll make a video on that here shortly. If you hear any other, there's a lot of other shops that are right by me. Actually, my neighbors are a Subaru shop. They do like really good work, not just engine swap and builds, but also some custom fab stuff. They do a lot of Subaru race car stuff. So Reliable Subi Garage is what their name is here in Glendale, Arizona. Really cool guys. Give them a ring if you got a Subaru and you want it done correctly. Larry is his name. RSG is what they go by, so look them up. Anything that's Subaru related, you bring it to me. I'm just gonna have them do it for me because they're the best at what they do. But anyways, that's gonna be it for today's video. Like I said, I'll try to do a little bit better at these videos, and hopefully I can get some kind of video editing. That way I can make these clips a little bit shorter and a little bit more to the point. So thanks again for tuning into Honda for Mendoza Auto Garage, and look forward to talking to you guys on the next video. Alrighty, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Mendoza_auto_garage. That's my Instagram. You can find me on Facebook as well under Mendoza Automotive Services LLC. I'm on Google Maps. Just Google me. You'll find me. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for chiming in. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, night, whatever time you're watching this, and I'll see you then.